Let me tell you the story about a particular network. Which one, you may ask? It's any kind of network. And what type is it? A children's at that, really. A network that's been around for almost nearly 40 years and counting. Mostly been on the air mostly throughout the 1980s. Originally known as Pinwheel back in 1977. Was named the biggest network that actually blew up by storm in the network during the 1980s, but mostly found its renaissance in the 1990s. Nickelodeon, a network mostly known for a lot of children's shows that really, for the most part, had dominated mostly throughout the 1990s. I was born during the time when shows like Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, and others were on the air. I was not around at the time when Nickelodeon began throughout the late 70s, all the way throughout the 1980s. But their shows, for the most part, throughout the 90s is what mostly led the network to total domination in ratings. With shows like Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Hey Arnold, Rocko's Modern Life, and plenty of others, to name a few, on the animated category of side of things. And as well as some of their live action programming, like Are You Afraid of the Dark and all that. Nickelodeon used to be a very successful children's network, but times have evolved for the worst. By the late 90s, they brought in one of their biggest mascot characters to be currently known for the network, who is a talking sponge who lives under a pineapple under the sea. There's lots of nautical adventures between him and his cohorts under the sea every episode. His show will be massively dominating in any other show that's on television, mostly for children. This network would go ahead and produce television shows that would come and go as the times went by in the 2000s, like Invader Zim, The Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, LT Gray, and others, to name a few. But for the most part, Nickelodeon used to be a network that had great television, great programming, great entertainment. But now, as time went on, and as I gotten older, and when shows like Jimmy Neutron and Invader Zim have left, that's when my interest in Nickelodeon started to decline. Maybe it had to do to the fact that I was getting older, or maybe it was due to the fact that I needed to move on some way and somehow in life. But by 2010, Nickelodeon was going completely downhill with the shows that they had. Though for fair shares, they had some good shows that I actually enjoyed watching, like Drake and Josh and iCarly. Yeah, go ahead, sue me for that. But then all of a sudden, whoever's running the network nowadays, since 2009, I feel they aren't doing a good job at it. Let's just say that Nickelodeon has now become a burden of being a root of all evil. In other words, in a plural, in a synonym, in other words, every villain is Lemons, better known as evil. But out of all of those working at Nickelodeon that are evil lemons, who is that one most notorious evil lemon? Look no further than Say. Whoa, you mean to tell me you thought I was going to talk about SpongeBob SquarePants? No, Say was responsible for Nickelodeon, and thus, this is where I turn to about why Power Rangers nowadays sucks on their network. Greetings and welcome everybody. Anthony Mars Jr. on PR Lost Galaxy 2014 with a brand new podcast on Terra Venture. bringing you podcast episode 275, presented by PR Lost Galaxy 2014's Facebook and Instagram pages, and my Morphin Megaverse Power Rangers Facebook group. Haven't seen any? Check them out now. And also, Merry Christmas, everybody. At least it's a better Christmas present of a podcast than I did last year, but take it for what it is. And before I go ahead and talk about what I said, even based on the opening teaser, I want to give shout outs to following new subscribers. Some of the names I will probably get wrong, but I'm going to skip a few. I'm just going to find notable subscribers that have subscribed me within the last week or two. I want to give a shout out to Andrew Southworth, Ben Marlin, Merrick Kavanaugh, Why Doesn't She Call, and a YouTube account by the name of Kim Possible Fan. What's the sitch, girl? Yeah, someone named Kim Possible Fan. Okay. Also, I also want to, before I get ahead to the main topic, I want to go ahead and give you guys a big announcement. For 5 years since I began PR Lost Galaxy 2014 and my presence on YouTube and my presence in the Power Rangers fandom, well, in some case, you guys can now, for 5 years, I've been trying to find a huge following, on YouTube, and I can't believe I'm near to almost 900 subscribers. And look how far I've came since then. The big announcement is, the big news is that I am now on Patreon. Now, the link to my Patreon page is in the description box below. Follow me and and also support me on Patreon, because with those kind of donations and support, you guys can help me build my empire to where I was from the moment when I was completely belittled nobody on YouTube as a fan of Power Rangers to where I am at today. Because I never thought about using Patreon before, because for years I've been watching all of my favorite YouTubers like Rick the Barkeep on his Onyx Tavern video series, Comic Book Cast, and very other YouTube big name YouTubers and such that have Patreon accounts. I'm not quite sure of Captain Logan and them on Geekvolution as Patreon, but regardless though, so for someone like me, for the longest time, almost near 5 years, come September of next year, 2017, I had no idea, but I am starting to do Patreon. If you guys want to see me do new content for Power Rangers and some Super Sentai, or support for what I'm going to do for new Power Ranger toy reviews and other stuff, and content for my next Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film and fan film series, go ahead and support me through my Patreon and so forth. And I have a huge goal, but unfortunately, I'm not going to go all day talk about my Patreon, but go ahead and see my biggest goal, because I want to reach to about $100 per month. Now, to most videos I will not be doing for money, just have, to announce that the videos will be out. So, in accommodation to my Patreon, here is my podcast, first time following Patreon. This is it. I have been waiting for this discussion ever since Power Rangers Megaforce's conclusion. And after Super Megaforce's conclusion, I've been saving this video since then, since 2014. As soon as when Power Rangers Dino Charge came about, I tolerated Dino Charge for 2 seasons, but you know how I was, and if you guys see my final thoughts video on Dino Supercharge, you know my story there in Drift. But as soon as when I sat through 2 seasons of Dino Charge. Now, to be honest though, Dino Charge is still better than Samurai and Megaforce's 2 seasons altogether. But here's where I really need to drop the ball on Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon, if you guys remember from my opening teaser, that I said earlier that they used to have so many great shows, and also their logo. I mean, how can you not forget about their old logo? I mean, their old logo used to have splat, variants, in their logo. If they broadcast shows like Rugrats or Hey Arnold and Rocko's Modern Life of the Angry Beavers or any other show like that, or Invader Zim. But, in the day and age now where they let shows off the hook come and go, new coming shows that they never even gave the shine the chance, like The X's or Cat Scratch or Butt Ugly Martians or any other show that I can think of, animated or live action over the years, that they tried to give a chance, tried to give some momentum of popularity. But the point is, Nickelodeon lost its tune as soon as they started promoting so much of SpongeBob everywhere you turn. Now, bear in mind, I don't hate SpongeBob. It's still one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon. Although Nickelodeon don't really show reruns of the older episodes. They keep showing episodes that were around after the first SpongeBob SquarePants movie came out, up to the point with Sponge Out of Water and post Sponge Out of Water. And here we are, SpongeBob, now after more than 15 years since the show's inception in the character, the show has now reached its 10th season. And I know cartoons take time to get animated, storyboarded, and all of that, and get respective syndicated air dates. But what is it why does Nickelodeon got to prolong certain shows? They've done this a lot with a lot of shows over the years, and mostly animated shows, but I'll give you some examples if you go on their respective Wikipedia pages, that some air dates for shows like Rugrats and SpongeBob, Angry Beavers, and Jimmy Neutron have had longer air dates and releases to get some of these new episodes out. And of course, animation takes a long process than compared to live action programming. One thing for sure though, Nickelodeon, from what I've heard, Nickelodeon hates cartoons. But whoever these asshats that are working for Nickelodeon now, if they really hate cartoons so much, why even bother airing them? You got your sister network Nicktoons to back that stuff up. So what's the problem? You can't, do a 50-50 share of what is animated versus what's live action. I don't get it. I mean, you guys cared about cartoons. Rugrats, for the most part, after more than 10 years, up until its ending in 2004, after their, crossover feature film with the Wild Thornberrys in the Go Wild movie, that movie served as a series finale for both that and the Thornberrys. And yet, you guys are going to go ahead and treat cartoons like, once we put in more live action programming and more teen programming like Drake and Josh and Victorious and iCarly and several other live action programs that came and gone, and some that haven't made it into the air and made it to popularity. It's like, and also Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide and shows like that. You never gave those shows a chance because some of those shows barely had its somewhat good deal of popularity. But it seems like you want to off those shows off in favor of shows that you think are worth money making, like SpongeBob. And that's why I've been waiting this long for the longest time throughout the past month since the conclusion of Power Rangers Dino Supercharge, that I'm going to go ahead and say this, but even, of course, in today's podcast and to my Christmas present to my audience, that Nickelodeon sucks. Nickelodeon absolutely sucks. They can care either way what to do with the programming they got on their network now. They used to have so much good deal and care for their programming and the shows that they broadcast and shows that they want to bring to an end. Sure, when we got to the 2000s and in the wake of the 9/11 attacks and after 9/11, and when we had shows like The Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron, and Jimmy Neutron had it was first a movie and then a cartoon, but actually before that it was a series of mini shorts that preluded to the events of the first Jimmy Neutron movie, to the feature film that came out in November of 15 years ago, to an animated series that lasted for 3 seasons plus 1 or 2 TV movies, and then here you are, and you guys just went downhill from there. I would say that right around when you guys relaunched Jimmy Neutron as a television series with The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, and then you did shows like, again, The X's or Cat Scratch, Danny Phantom, and all those shows, I'm like, when are you guys ever going to give some new shows that only have 1 season to catch a break? I mean, why can't you just give these shows to catch a break? That's the problem with you, Nickelodeon, and also for those working at Viacom. Now, the people who were working on, the shows on Nickelodeon and Viacom, they had some good deals. They know how to run their shows and how to get, following interest in their audience was who they're promoting the shows to, little kids. Now, even though, again, I have never did an argument on my channel before about the whole just because it's a kid's show don't mean adults can't watch it argument, but that will be for another time. But after when all of those shows, the ones that were around between 2002 to 2008 had died out, like Danny Phantom and Jimmy Neutron, by 2009, I'm going to say 2009. In 2009, I didn't really watch that much Nickelodeon, besides SpongeBob here and there. And that was the only time I watched Nickelodeon that year. Sure, at that time, that's when they started putting out their, Jonas Brothers equivalent out of Big Time Rush. Even though as much as I never cared for their music, but their show, even though I'm not going to lie to you guys, but Big Time Rush, I actually liked that show for a while. But then by its later years, until its cancellation in like 2011 or something, then it got stupid. I would say that Nickelodeon mostly dropped the ball when they dropped out live action shows that I felt was going to be heinous, like Super Ninjas, Fred with Fred Figglehorn by Lucas, the big YouTuber with the squeaky mouth that I can't stand, and several other shows that they've had in live action form since 2011 to this point. Mostly, even the shows that they have in live action since 2013 to 2016 now to 2017 beyond. When they had shows like Sam and Cat and Victorious and all those other junk live action programs for the teenagers. What I mostly want to talk about is my franchise. What they're doing with it. Now, aside from all the Nickelodeon shows that we all know that have came and gone and still talked about today, except SpongeBob and the Fairly Odds, let's talk about Power Rangers. You know what's the funny? Everybody has known this long story. Ever since Power Rangers was originally going to be canceled after Disney canceled their final season of the show, that would have been the pre-ultimate final season of the franchise overall, Power Rangers RPM, Disney did their, of course, crappy revision of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in 2010, 6 years ago. I was just, finishing junior high, beginning senior high school year, and by that time, between the summer hiatus of 2010, Saban, or in other words, Saban Brands or Saban Capital Group, came back. Haim Saban, the original creator of Power Rangers, reacquired the rights of the franchise from Disney. After Disney broadcast their final revisioned Mighty Morphin episode from the season 1, because season 1 is all over the place, and I've said this enough in the videos this year, where they went ahead and revisioned A Star Is Born, which was their last revisioned episode from season 1, the 32 of the 60 episodes. As soon as when we got Saban back and Power Rangers was with its original creator, soon as when we heard, of course, I was one of the few among, this is where I was starting to coming about in the fandom a little bit, where as soon as when I heard Saban was bringing Power Rangers back to where they had it, we all was like, finally, the Dark Ages are over, our true savior has returned. That wasn't until the following year, in 2011. With Power Rangers Samurai. And I got to hand it to you guys, but ever since Samurai, this was when the nightmare for Power Rangers with these newer seasons got much worse. Now, say what you want about Samurai, because I already know Megaforce is the worst. Dino Supercharged can be either way. But I still think Samurai is what started the nightmare of what is the Neo-Saban era. I said this back in my remastered response to Linkara's History of Power Rangers Megaforce video that I posted last week, and I talked about if Samurai, due to the fact that Samurai helped relaunch Power Rangers, for a more mainstream following through social media and other forms of alike, that Samurai likely should have stayed for 2 seasons and 20 episodes. Because, well, in a way to make up for the fact that we didn't have a new season in 2010. Besides that crappy 2010 revision of Mighty Morphin. 6 years ago. Now, going on 7 years ago, this January coming up. So, why is it that Why does the later seasons of Nickelodeon aired seasons have to be 2 years? Samurai should have stayed 2 seasons and 20 episodes a year. They could do Super Samurai all they want, but that should have been 2 seasons, and that's that. Then, 2013, let's fast forward now to 2013. Power Rangers Megaforce came around, and it was the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers. But it barely felt like an anniversary. It just felt like it was an anniversary for Mighty Morphin. We didn't fully get a huge anniversary, somewhat celebration of the entire franchise other than the original. Nothing beats the original. Nothing can beat my childhood icons, blah, blah, blah. Mighty Morphin. The entire franchise of Power Rangers. But then Super Megaforce, which mostly did the anniversary stuff, didn't come around in time for the anniversary, even if it was unclear if we were going to get Go-Kaiju or not at the time. But elements of Go-Kaiju simmered and came in slowly. We were supposed to have a big anniversary celebration. What they should have did when they did Super Megaforce, and when Saban told Nickelodeon that we're airing the Super season of Megaforce in 2014, they should have had all the time and money to make Super Megaforce longer than 20 episodes for 2014. No, they decided 20 episodes and call it that. And thus, this is why the titular legendary battle was a legendary atrocity. Then we turned to Power Rangers Dino Charge. For granted, as much Megaforce had left us a huge sour taste in our mouths after it concluded for 2 seasons, then the bigger grace of the Neo Saban era, courtesy to Judd Lin, came along after Jonathan Zacher was fired. Power Rangers Dino Charge came in and left a huge impression on what they were doing with the season. Now, Dino Charge was better for a while. And you know my sob story back in my original response to Linkara video on Mega Crap and everything else. But soon as we got to this point, 2016, Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. What did they do instead? They somehow wasn't paying attention at some point airing the show. They just somehow just throw the show in just for the sake of throwing it in and not do further promos or anything of a like. And from what I've noticed, before the season came to an end, that Dino Supercharge was the first Neo Saban season, but it's still a continuation of the previous one, to have low ratings. Now, I was like, that's not right. Well, of course, I told you guys I don't watch TV anymore, and I'm glad I don't have Nickelodeon. I don't have no kind of satellite or cable TV provider to watch Nickelodeon and sit through another 2 seasons of Power Rangers over and over with the same process. And I understand television has evolved for better or for worse. But seeing the fact that these new seasons have to be 2 seasons and 20 episodes a year pisses me off. It absolutely pisses me off. You see, when they did, starting with Megaforce, they should have did that season for a year. We could have had all the episodes of Megaforce in 2013 with the Super Megaforce episodes the same year to keep the anniversary going. But they was like, well, if we show Super Megaforce in 2013, we ain't gonna have a new season in 2014. We're gonna have to wait another 2 years until they have a new season come out. Which is bullshit, because for one, you could have at least, like I said back in my remastered video about my response to Linkara on the Megaforce season review, that you could have at least put Megaforce all in 2013. Both shows. Both the first season with the Ghost Sager footage and the other with the Go-Kaiju stuff. That's what could have happened in our 20th anniversary. But remember, our 20th anniversary got ruined because of this stupid policy. Because we tried, and we've long waited. We've had all this waiting in anticipation what was going to happen with our anniversary season. You see, Nickelodeon, what you did was you stalled the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers with your redundant 20 episode 2 season policy. And that's not right. I mean, look back at the last anniversaries, people. I mean, let's look back before we get back to Megaforce and in terms of the response to Nickelodeon, let's look back to our previous anniversary episodes in seasons. Now, when we had Power Rangers Wild Force near 15 years ago in 2002, they didn't extend Wild Force for 2 seasons so we can wait another year for Forever Red or reinforcements from the future to happen. No, we got those episodes immediately, even though they were in between those boring and very condescending Animus episodes. But even though we've had long anticipation for Forever Red to show up, because Forever Red, even though the Time Force team up was great with Wild Force, but Forever Red was the big beefcake anniversary special of the entire franchise and Wild Force as a whole. Then we fast forward another 5 years later, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive in 2007, 10 years ago, with Once a Ranger. Can you imagine when Disney had Power Rangers for 7 years until RPM? Can you imagine if they extended the 15th anniversary up until at least 2009? And imagine if we didn't have Jungle Fury in 2008. And Operation Overdrive was 2 seasons. And we had to wait 2000. And imagine again if we waited in 2008 for them to show us broadcast Once a Ranger. And then for the 50th anniversary, release all of those, I think, 8-inch Red Ranger figures of the last 15 years at that time, and that time frame. Mighty Morphin 2 Operation Overdrive. And also when they promoted the Power Rangers Super Legends video game for the PlayStation 2, Nintendo DS, and Windows computers and whatever. And can you imagine what they could have did when they did Operation Overdrive? They would have did exactly what Nickelodeon and Saban did with Megaforce. And now, I'm not going to blame Saban, sorry. I'm not going to blame Saban for the fact that at least, well, I have to give the Neo Saban era some credit. At least they were trying to do what they want to do with these new seasons. But you're letting Nickelodeon, which is a very corporate network of a devil, tell you what to do with the show, like every other show that they do with everyone else's productions, animated and live action respectively. And now I would have liked it if newer seasons would have been on Nickelodeon's sister network, Nicktoons, because Nicktoons, you still get reruns of Samurai and Megaforce and Dino Charge on there. But you could have at least shown new episodes at the same time. Because if Nickelodeon is going to bullcrap and procrastinate having 20 episodes spanned for 2 years of each season, then it's like, what's the point even bother doing it? Really, what's the point even bother doing it? They kept stalling too much time putting these new shows out. And I don't like that. And I really do not like that at all. They've been so downhill ever since Samurai. And that's why, as much as I've said I hate Samurai, as much as I hate Super Megaforce and Dino Supercharge. But the problem is, you should have let these shows do what it wants to do. No, you want to give them the 20 episode restriction policy so they won't, go overboard and be like, well, let's do 20 episodes a year because that's what we do with every other show on our network, and just do all these repetitive SpongeBob reruns every damn hour a day in a month throughout 365 days a year. That's bullshit. And, well, this is one of the problems why around the time of, now let's backtrack the Super Samurai's airings in 2012, 4 years ago. This is why your network was off for a month on DirecTV, Nick. You guys ran SpongeBob too much in favor of no other show that you had in your lineup of shows, new and recurring. Because you guys, again, think about sucking SpongeBob's dick for profit, didn't care about my franchise that I've been following since the very beginning, from 1993 to, at that point, 2012, near 2013 for the 20th anniversary. You guys can spend more time making profit off new SpongeBob episodes and SpongeBob merchandise, SpongeBob whatever reruns. And that's why Disney, which was the previous network owner of Power Rangers from the past decade for 7 years and a half, dominated you guys in the ratings in 2012. That's why your ratings went so low and went deep south sinking ship. Because you kept showing too much SpongeBob on your network in 2012. Didn't care about Power Rangers or Super Ninjas or Haunted Hathaways or iCarly or any of these other shows that you had on at the time. And even when Power Rangers was relaunching itself for a more mainstream world and in the world where we're now consumed in lots of social media now. But I don't think you guys really care regardless either way. You just went ahead and just wanted to be selfish and careless whether what you want to do with the show. And you guys can go either way, caring about it or just pretend that, the show's up there, but we don't care that it's up there because we can thinking about what to do with SpongeBob, what to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what to do with Haunted Hathaways, what to do with the Thundermans, what to do with Breadwinners, what to do with Sanjay and Craig, what to do with Fred, what to do with Marvin Martian, or whatever the crap it's called. What to do with Victorious. What to do with Sam and Cat. What to do with Sanjay and Craig. What to do with all these other shows you have on your network that have came and gone. And I just don't understand. I mean, you guys were more concise about SpongeBob because I know SpongeBob is all you guys care about when it comes to Nickelodeon. I mean, yeah, sure. The opposite of SpongeBob being Nickelodeon's mascot is Mickey Mouse with Disney. And, well, we don't even know what mascots are for Cartoon Network. That depends on the variations, either if it's the Powerpuff Girls or whoever, for Cartoon Network mascots. Actually, I don't think Cartoon Network has any mascot, just whoever they have as the prime, the network running shows, that are the most popular. Unless if you're a Adventure Time or Steven Universe kind of guy, then that's the bare exception. But Nickelodeon, you guys originally had Rugrats as your flagship show until its demise with the Wild Thornberrys in a feature film where they crossed over, where both shows died. Then as soon as when you guys released the SpongeBob SquarePants movie in 2004, which was around the same holiday season Pixar put out The Incredibles, even albeit it was one of my favorite Pixar movies, then you went ahead, after when the SpongeBob SquarePants movie got its money back out of the box office of grossing so many billions and billions of dollars or whatever, then as soon as after 2004 and when Steven Hillenburg, who is the creator of SpongeBob, left for a number of years up until season 9, 10 and onward, Sponge Out of Water, then SpongeBob started taking over hysterically, if that makes any sense. And radically, that's why your network was sinking ship from 2005 to 2012. But you got your shit together around 2015, soon as you guys announced, we're doing a new SpongeBob SquarePants movie in theaters. It will be out sometime near spring break. I hope kids enjoy their new SpongeBob. But that's what happened. And look what happened. Like the first SpongeBob movie, it made money at the box office and people loved it. But when you guys did that Michael Bay produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot, and its 2016 sequel that came out this summer, which I heard did poorly, did its 2014 film counterpart, that's when you guys was just really ruining it. And that's why I guess there was a way of saying, as a fan, with the new Power Rangers movie coming out by Lionsgate and Dean Israelite directed, that directed, at least this movie's not by Nickelodeon. At least the new Power Rangers movie isn't with you guys, with your Nickelodeon movie studio in a subsidiary with Paramount Pictures, which is also owned by Viacom. So I see why Saban decided not to do your movie, do their Power Rangers movie with you and Paramount, because then you guys would make it like Ninja Turtles 2014 all over again. And even though as much people don't like the aesthetics for the new Power Rangers movie at the moment, but some people will still see the movie regardless if it's going to look like TMNT 2014 or the Michael Bay Transformers movies. But knowing that, something tells me, although likely, when the Power Rangers movie comes out, it's going to be our first PG-13 film, because with the aesthetic that they're going for like that or whatever, I actually, knowing Power Rangers, even though as much as I wanted to be a PG-13 based on the dark approach that they're going with the movie and stuff, I wanted to be a PG-13. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get back to topic here. It's just, why would you go ahead and... It's just, I don't understand completely why you're going to go ahead and shirk Power Rangers off the way you do. I mean, for starters, now, let's back again to Samurai. When Samurai relaunched Power Rangers to the, on the face of the map of pop culture, thanks to Samurai, you guys would promote Samurai a lot. You promoted it. You've been showing off the show, marketing it a bit, very much. It had a great deal of ratings, and with the Blue and Gold, with the episode Blue and Gold, which is that Kevin and Antonio episode, that was the highest rated episode of all of Samurai, and thus gave Samurai lots of huge boost in ratings. Super Samurai did fairly good, but you guys didn't do that much promos for it, much like you did Samurai's first season. And, hence, with, say for Clash of the Red Rangers, that was just only for a rare occasion for promoting for the Thanksgiving holiday of 2011. Then, when we got to Megaforce for promos, now I'm talking about the promos. Now, when you guys did Megaforce, when you promoted Megaforce from Saban Brands, you guys barely did any promos for Megaforce. You could have promoted new episodes about it, but no, you went back promoting more SpongeBob and other junk shows that people don't give us flying shit about. And that's the problem. You care more about that dumb ass talking sponge whose show's been going on for like almost near 7 years at that point, and you don't care either way if Power Rangers is on the air. You guys just happen to have it on the network, but just don't care regardless of the cost. Sure, it's on weekends after SpongeBob reruns or whatever, but then after Power Rangers go off for a while, for a week after 12 o'clock to 12:30, back with more SpongeBob. But it's like, oh my God. I'm just like fed up with it. And then Super Mega Force, you guys did the exact same thing. You guys didn't promote Super Mega Force enough. You guys only did 2 or 3 promos for it, and including the legendary battle promo, which was half-assed, and when you tagged Tommy as hashtag, when you tagged him as the original Green Ranger, like, who else doesn't know that Tommy was the original Green Mighty Morphin Power Ranger? Like, who else hasn't? I mean, I know kids don't know about Power Rangers outside the seasons that they've been watching throughout the last 5 going on 6 years now of Nickelodeon with the show on it. But why are you going to tagline it as the original Green Ranger for with Tommy on the Megaforce reunion episode? Why? I mean, everybody knows Tommy is the original Green Ranger. But it would have been great if they should have tagged him, when they did the Legend War, they should have made him the White Ranger. But that was the mistake on them, because they wanted green, because that was, of course, to pay tribute to Mighty Morphin. They had to bring up the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger for the Legend War, but even though I would have liked it if they had the White Ranger. I mean, why are you thinking in the legendary battle portion of both the regular and extended versions of the finale, you just saw Tommy do a legend shift of his White Ranger powers, and also pulling out his Saba sword to pull out that little kid falling off that falling car off that bridge. But I'm getting ahead of myself there. Then Dino Charge. You guys had a promo for Dino Charge once Megaforce concluded for 2 seasons. Then when Dino Charge was about to start, you only did 2 or 3 promos for Dino Charge. Then Dino Supercharge, just only 1 or 2 promos. I'm like, what the hell is with that deal? What's going on? I mean, do you even care about the show on Nickelodeon? I don't even freaking think so. Let me talk about another thing that is also pissed off about the air dates with Power Rangers. Mostly the time slot. Now, when Power Rangers started being on Nickelodeon, when was the last time we ever had Power Rangers on the weekends on Sundays? Usually, looking back on Fox Kids and Disney and their seasons, they would come on weekdays and often weekend afternoons or mornings. Well, if you're talking about the Disney seasons. The Fox Kids seasons, they were weekdays and then Saturday mornings, and Sundays, no Power Rangers until the next week, the following Monday. because that, even though that was then. But as times have progressed throughout the post 9/11 era of this nation and the world and everything nowadays, then all of a sudden, then I start thinking, now when the show does eventually come on Nickelodeon, this is what I said after the 2010 revision of Mighty Morphin. And when it finished 32 episodes, revising episodes in a crap poor manner, that they should have never. And I was wondering, what days do you think Samurai would come on at a certain time? Until I found out it was on Sundays. At 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I had to wait a whole day, a whole Sunday afternoon, whole Sunday morning, up until after 12 and 12:30 after you're finished exhausting people with more SpongeBob. You would go ahead and start broadcasting new episodes of Power Rangers, Samurai, and Super Samurai at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then after Samurai goes off, back with more SpongeBob reruns. And that's why people got fatigued with too much of the SpongeBob treatment. And even though as much people hate Teen Titans Go doing the exact same thing on Cartoon Network's end, with Cartoon Network showing too much of Teen Titans Go, now you guys, then you guys you guys did it first with SpongeBob, and now you got Cartoon Network picking up what you guys did with SpongeBob with Teen Titans Go. I mean, come on, guys. Just why are you guys going to do this with SpongeBob and Power Rangers, and then, well, at least around Megaforce, you guys got your act together, showing new episodes on Saturdays again, even though that's what the show should have did when you guys had Samurai aired for the first time in 2 years. But Megaforce, you gave that Super Megaforce, Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge the 12 o'clock half-hour time slot. And then after those shows go off, then you put in, once again, what else? What other show? SpongeBob SquarePants all over again after that. Or the Fairly Odd Parents. Or any other thing after Power Rangers would go off on Nickelodeon. This is why I am glad I don't have DirecTV right now. Or any satellite or cable provider. But this is why Power Rangers, for the most part on Nickelodeon, this is why a lot of us are fed up with the Neo Saban era. I mean, Dino Charge is the only thing that kept the Neo Saban era alive now after 4 mediocre or worse seasons. But it's just the way how you guys have been progressing on the show, the way how you guys been splitting the episodes and all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I mean, how long is it going to take for us to finish these seasons up so we can move on with the next season for like the next year or two and crap? And I'm like, oh my God. It's like, why it take so damn long to do this? Then, this is another thing I also want to talk about why Nickelodeon sucks with Power Rangers. This has been irking me ever since Megaforce. Now, Samurai, I can understand 2 seasons because, again, the makeup for the fact that we didn't have a new season in 2010 again. 20 episodes and 2 seasons every year. Do we really necessarily need 2 seasons every year and 20 episodes? And then let's also talk about the hiatuses for the most part. Alright guys, I'm just about this close to rage out. I don't want to rage out like I did last year. I got a new microphone, so bear with me here. I don't want to blow up my microphone and then cause a bunch of vibrations and echoes through the vocal recordings of my podcasts here. The hiatuses. What's the point? Now, it makes sense with the older seasons prior to the Disney era. When Disney, now Ninja Storm was exceptional because they was just finding their place on trying to air Power Rangers. By Dino Thunder, when we had Jetix and Toon Disney, and still had ABC Family to some extent until Mystic Force, they still had Power Rangers air new episodes even throughout the summer. Because when Disney had, starting with SPD, they would air new episodes. No, I would say around Dino Thunder. They aired some new episodes during the summer. At least, well, even though there were kids that went to school, summer camp and stuff during those summers, when Disney would air Power Rangers during the summer with new episodes of Dino Thunder to at least Jungle Fury. So what's wrong with Samurai to Ninja Steel that you can't show new episodes during the summer? Oh, you want to go by the regulations of, well, after we air first 8 or 9 episodes, then call it hiatus by May. That's when we start our summer vacation, and then we come back around late August or September. But remember when you guys had Samurai, we had to wait for new episodes to come out until October. And remember how long, people, 5 years ago when we had Samurai? Look how long it took us for them to resume Samurai for new episodes after their overlong and stretched out summer hiatus. But at least starting with Megaforce, that's when they started airing new episodes around September or late August, no less. Because at least we got new episodes to resume early instead of waiting until, a month after my birthday month and stuff, and kids already getting back into school and college and stuff, and parents going back to work, and grown-ups like me getting back to work. And I'm like, why wait until September? I know around late August when summer is about to come to a close, but when August is considered the dog days of summer month, and knowing that the majority of movies that come out during the month of August usually suck, and knowing that people are at the point where it's time to get ready to starting up the new season of going back to work and going back to school and everything, and then here you are, and then you went to go back to resuming seasons of Power Rangers where you last left them and doing a mid-season finale. And I understand mid-season finales can take as long as they can, but the summer, for the most part, is one of the slowest and dragged out seasons of any year. And knowing that, as much as I used to love the summer, but now I'm at the point where, well, again, since I'm no longer watching Power Rangers anymore, but due to the fact that when I was watching it, I had to wait and wonder how long would it take for them to resume Megaforce and Dino Charge and so forth. And I'm wondering how long it was going to take them to resume these seasons. It would take them from late April to May the 1st or May the 2nd or whenever their mid-season finale episode would be. Then between May, whenever it is, all the way to early September, then the show comes back on. And it's frustrating. During most of the time, my last 5 summers in a row have been drag-outs, and they have been kind of awful and terrible. And knowing that most of the majority of my summer vacations, well, no, actually, as an adult, summer vacation is no longer a thing. I'm at the point where I have to work my butt off during the summer now, where I have to do this and do that now during the summer, and mostly taking cool, hot days off, not being under the sun for too long. Otherwise, I'll have heat exhaustion, heat stress, and almost nearly have heat stroke and, have a concussion being under the sun. Whatever the heck I meant there. I'm off the point there, off my rocker about this. But it's just, why can't you resume some episodes, or at least air a few episodes during the summer to keep kids occupied? But no, you're afraid that when we get to October or November, you won't have no new episodes out. Besides those crappy clip show of so-called holiday episodes, Halloween and Christmas, and then call it the show until next year. Do the exact same damn process. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that we have to wait another 10 to 15 some episodes after you aired 8 of the 20 of the year that you guys planned, and then decided to be more restrictive of how you guys airing the show, which has really been a big piss off for me, because knowing that's why I've been saying that's why I hated Samurai, that's why Clash of the Red Rangers sucked, that's why the Legendary Battle sucked, that's why Super Megaforce in general sucked, that's why the 20th anniversary overall sucked, that's why Dino Supercharged had low ratings, and that's why I'm not watching Ninja Steel. Because it's just, you guys are really, you guys have been I think you guys have been bullying Saban with your policy with the 20 episodes. This is one of the few things. Okay, now one of the few things that I did looked up on, on the Onyx Tavern podcast of Rick's podcast about
If you go back to his Onyx Tavern video of how he would fix Power Rangers, I guess Rick the Barkeep had a good point about the whole move Power Rangers from Nickelodeon to a different network or something. And Netflix would have been a great option, but that will be another video another time, my friends. But again, I would have liked it, and I would have to agree with Rick on this one. I, for the most part, like many people, should take Power Rangers off Nickelodeon, end this dumb bullshit 20 episodes and 2 season policy, and move it to Netflix, where they can stream about every episode a week, or stream them in a hour long, within a 24-hour long streaming marathon on Netflix, like how Marvel and Netflix did with shows like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Daredevil. So why can't they do that with Power Rangers? It just boggles me, really. It just really boggles me. And yeah, I would love to see Power Rangers on Netflix. Well, for the newer seasons, because Nickelodeon is not doing anything justice for Power Rangers. But here's how I would see it for a trade-off. They can keep the Ninja Turtles, but give us back our Power Rangers, because I don't think Nickelodeon cares about our show. Like how, like again from Rick the Barkeep's Onyx Tavern video, how much Disney sucked and how much Disney didn't treat Power Rangers the way they did, and slashed the budget of the show and slashed the episode count, and then give them a cinematic universe and all this other stuff. This is exactly what Nickelodeon is doing. I just think that, like, again, back in my opening teaser, Nickelodeon, for the last 5 years, I've sat with their, seasons of Power Rangers up until this year with Dino Supercharge. They have been the real villains. They have been the real villains with our franchise. I mean, they are the second. This is the second television network that can give either a damn about our show, our franchise that's been around since the beginning, up to where we are with the stupid ninja motherfuckers. Excuse me for anyone who don't like profanity of mine. To the fact that they just don't care, and they want to go ahead and just cut the number of episodes down to 20 episodes, but still have our holiday episodes that will be 22 episodes overall. And it's like, really, Nickelodeon? Can you give Saban more opportunity to do more episodes than this? I mean, I understand most of your shows have about 13 to 20 episodes a year, but can you have at least gave Power Rangers more, concise opportunity to do more episodes than just 20 every 2 years? Because it's killing the show, and that's just really stagnant. It's like they don't care either way around. They just want to go ahead and say up yours about your franchise. We can do what we want with it, or leave it to waste and do little to no promos about it to keep kids excited, and that's all you guys can ever do and care about. But when it's about all these other shows that you guys can care more about, like Haunted Hathaways or the Thundermans or Sanjay and Craig, you guys can give that more credit. Or Modern SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents, you give that more credit. And the Ninja Turtles, but not Power Rangers. What is up with that? I mean, that's probably one of the few reasons why I gave up watching the show after Dino Supercharged this year, because I was not going to put up with what you guys were doing with these new seasons anymore, because I understand times have evolved, or probably, I guess this probably because I'm getting older and I shouldn't be watching the show anymore because it's not meant for me anymore, or whatever the crap, or whatever the heck that meaning is supposed to say. So, and I really, really feel like it shouldn't really be this. You could have did more episodes than just 20 every 2 years. Do at least 40 every year. But I understand they have to be resourceful and limited to the Sentai footage that they have available, because these newer Sentais only have about 47 episodes, so they have to stretch out 40 some episodes of the following 20 for each 2 seasons. And so they got to do something. Now, Shinkenger, Goseiger, and Gokaiger had 50 episodes. Now, when they did let's go back with Megaforce. Megaforce should have had 50 episodes. The stretch out. We would have continued right where we were from where we were in Megaforce's first season. Now, Super Megaforce, I would have liked it if there was any further time and budgetary reasons given for them, for Saban. You could have gave Saban and the production team enough time to do the 20th anniversary the way they wanted. But no, since you guys said 20 episodes and for 2 seasons, you guys decided to tell them to rush everything, rush characters, rush the stories, rush everything, and then give us the legendary battle for the last minute. And knowing that, like I said back in my remastered video about my response to Link Heart's history of Power Rangers, that I would have liked it if the legendary battle was in the beginning of Super Megaforce and not at the end, so we can wait so long after we waited 2 seasons to the end of the 2 seasons of the year of that particular anniversary season for the legendary battle to occur. And then Dino Supercharge, I mean, look what you got. Now, let's look back at Dino Supercharge again. What they did to Dino Supercharge, I mean, we almost should have gotten the team up with Mighty Morphin and Dino Thunder with the Dino Charge Rangers. We could have had the Talon Ranger. We could have had what could have been Neo Goldar and a counterpart to be like Snides' accomplice as a sidekick villain and whatever. And anything else, or a team up with, oh yeah, that's right, Dino Charge is like, oh, like, this is the first season after post-anniversary where we don't do team-ups. Oh, I get it. I see the pattern with when it was an anniversary and what's a post-anniversary, that when we had anniversary seasons, we do only team-ups for that, and then post-anniversaries, no team-ups. Then, like Wild Force and Ninja Storm, then second time was Operation Overdrive, the Jungle Fury, and then Megaforce to Dino Charge. Okay, I see where you guys are going with that. But something tells me that when Saban thinks about doing a team up with Dino Charge and Ninja Steel together, you're gonna say, oh, let's bring the Dino Charge cast back to, fly them back to New Zealand so we can do a team up with the current Ninja Steel team. Again, I'm not watching Power Rangers Ninja Steel. Fuck it. And I don't know. I mean, you guys really have been messing up Power Rangers ever since you guys had it. Ever since Samurai, and you guys been messing it up big. And that's why I've been I guess this is why I've had so much hatred and bitterness with the Neo Saban era at times. It's just the 20 episodes of the year it's just redundant and repetitive and insipid. No wonder you got people in the fandom hating Megaforce. No wonder you got people getting confused with Dino Supercharge's finale. No wonder Ninja Steel is the next season. No wonder Saban had to skip Go Busters and Tokuger in favor of Dino Charge and Ninja Steel, Q-Ranger and Ninja respectively. Next thing you know, when Ninja Steel finished its 2 seasons, I bet at one point, I hope Power Rangers leaves Nickelodeon after Ninja Steel, because I want the show move from Nickelodeon to Netflix and leave New Zealand after many years since Ninja Storm back to the United States, or find a new country where the production on the show can be a little cheaper, like Canada. Oh no, well, if they film the show in Canada, knowing that the Power Ranger movies, the newer ones by Lionsgate, are being filmed there, so they're going to have to find somewhere in Canada where it won't coincide with the production of the show. Or just back to the United States, or find a new state in the United States to film the show then, if that's the case. Oh yeah, one big thing that I want to talk about why Nickelodeon sucks. You guys care about the toy sales. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to talk about the toy sales. You guys only care about how the toys sell. Well, it's Bandai pushing the charges, actually. Bandai America. I mean, this is why I didn't want to buy none of the toys from Samurai, because, and Ninja Steel. Because, now, the toys for Megaforce and Dino Charge I can tolerate. But as soon as when Bandai started doing toys for Samurai, Megaforce, Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel in their super seasons, of course, the toys have to be downgraded with the lowest quality as possible for children's toys. But it's just, well, again, I'm going to get on Bandai America's asses another video, another time, probably next year. But I just want to focus on what most of children's networks, and that's what I said back in my remastered response to Linkara last week. You guys care more about toy sales than you do about the damn show. You care more about the toys than you do about the show. This is both implied for Saban and Nickelodeon, actually. But I would say it's mostly Nickelodeon. Because You got and Bandai, yeah, because Bandai has been doing toys of the show since the beginning, and even around Super Sentai's time. But it's just when you guys have Power Rangers, and then when you guys started doing the toys for these seasons, and no wonder that's why I said back. That's why when I said what I said about the Megaforce toys, that's why I stopped collecting the toys, because there was just too many of the toys that I tried to collect and failed to do so. Because again, money talks. And Dino Charge, I did the exact same thing, and Ninja Steel, and I looked at the toys for it, and I'm like, it's ugly, it's awful. I haven't been to my Toys R Us or anywhere to see the Ninja Steel stuff in person yet, but when I do, I'm gonna be like, pass. I'll see what how the Legacy toys are doing. And the next thing you know, I go back to Toys R Us. It's still Legacy Thunder Megazord still in stock again. The Legacy figures with just, mostly for the Mighty Morphin, with the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger, that being Tommy, and all this other stuff. I mean, you guys care more about how the toys and the merchandise goes. I mean, that's why I never been implied. That's why I haven't got to imply further about it back in my response to, Linkara's History of Power Rangers on Megaforce about the toy sales. But you see, you guys are so more damn concerned about the toys. Like, you think, oh, if the toys don't sell, then we're going to have to stop showing the show or whatever. Cartoon Network has a tendency to have been doing that. They did it with Teen Titans Go, and they're still doing it. They did it with Steven Universe and still doing it. They did it with the Powerpuff Girls reboot and still doing it. They did it with Adventure Time, and they're still doing it. And look what you guys are doing with Nickelodeon. You care more about the toy sales for Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and SpongeBob than you do for any other thing about your shows. I mean, the merchandise is irrelevant. When you're concerned about promoting the show, if the show that you have on the air, you have to promote it more before you think about letting the toy manufacturer, merchandise manufacturer maker, advertise new toys or anything. You guys are just more freaking concerned about the damn toys. What is so great about the toys that is more important than the damn show? I don't get it. I mean, you care about the damn toys than the show. I mean, the toys can come later. The merchandise, further merchandise like t-shirts or whatever, can come later. Think about the show before you think about, once when the show has mass ratings, let's think about the merchandise next. Don't think about the show second, the toys first. This is like a wants versus needs versus wants kind of argument here. You guys are more about the toys than, like, the show. And that's why I'm not buying none of the toys for Ninja Steel. Because they're crap. Alright? They're crap. And that's why I stopped buying all the newer toys. Because I just can't afford everything that was out there. And like I said back in my response to Linkara's, Megaforce review of History of Power Rangers, that based on all those toys they had out, I mean, from the Legacy line for the adult audience that grew up with the original Mighty Morphin series, and then toys for the, the shows that are on Nickelodeon like Megaforce, and then throwing all those toys out. Honestly, if you have to think about how many toys you got to sell and how much of the sales figures are those figures and the Megazords and the Morphers and all this stuff, it's just so head scratching it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. Why would you think about that first? You think that, if the toys do so crap and bad and poor, we're going to have to cancel Power Rangers and just have the Ninja Turtles as the only best bet for merchandise, a show, and 2 crappy Michael Bay produced movies. That's just the epitome of the problem, folks, is that they're more about the merchandise, how the merchandise for Power Rangers on their network now is, than their show. That's why we hated Megaforce. That's why I am not looking forward for Ninja Steel. That's why Samurai was fair and fair. Dino Charge was average. Really, I mean, you guys could have did way better than that. Because for one, Nickelodeon, you guys are more corporate than Cartoon Network or Disney ever is. When you have children's programming. But you guys, I don't think you really care about Power Rangers. I really don't. One moment, when you have a new season in the beginning of the year, you promote it, you show 2 promos for it, one when it's about to come on, and then after the season premiere, then you do a premise promo of what the show will be about and how the series will progress. and then the summer promo, post-summer promo, then you talk about new seasons resume at 12 on Nickelodeon, you know, and then it's just like, you guys just like give up. You guys give up too easily like corporate cowards. That's who you guys are. You're corporate cowards. I just don't think you guys have it in you with Power Rangers. You can try your hardest. That's why, even though, this is why I'd rather wait for, that's why what I should have did was, instead of watching the shows on Nickelodeon, wait until when the DVDs by Lionsgate. Now, Lionsgate only does seasons, not Mighty Morphin the RPM, but Samurai Onward on DVD. Shout Factory did the seasons of Power Rangers prior to Samurai. Of course, like the original Mighty Morphin, and all the way from Zeo to RPM by Shout Factory. Lionsgate, on the other hand, does the DVD distributions for Samurai, Super Samurai, Megaforce, Super Megaforce, Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge, and when Ninja Steel finishes first season, and whatever, and then when they get to their, and the new Power Rangers movie is coming out in March in 3 months, so, they're going to have to go ahead and start prepping up what to do with the DVD release for the movie, and possibly release it on Blu-ray. So it's possible. So you guys have just not been doing a good job with these newer seasons. And now look, Saban, regardless of the flaws that they've been doing ever since they got the rights back from Disney, at least I'm going to give a positive about the Neo Saban era and Saban brands and Haim Saban and whoever's working there for Power Rangers. At least they are still trying. At least they are still trying to make the show relevant again, and trying to put more effort and trying to make people be aware that Power Rangers is back and stronger than ever. Because after many seasons of low ratings and some fair and fair toy sales and people dwindling out of the show in favor of other franchises that were more bigger, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Powerpuff Girls and My Little Pony and all that stuff, then all of a sudden you guys went ahead and just like, you guys hardly even care if the show's on your network, but yet you guys still have it prevalent on your official website, mentioned on the Wikipedia page, and everything else. And I'm sorry, but it's just, that goes to show that Nickelodeon, you guys are the real villains than Disney ever were over the past decade with the show. You guys are like the real villains. You guys are the real villains. And I have to say, like in the opening teaser, Gosei is running Nickelodeon. Telling Nickelodeon, you now have the power to give out as much opportunity to stretch out the show as much as possible and give kids and have their parents run exhaustion of having them go into multiple toy stores to sell our stuff to see how the toy sales will fare. Yeah, and I would have to say Gosei was responsible for running your network. And, ever since you guys had Power Rangers on it, since Samurai, I'm not going to say, Mentor G responsible or Keeper was responsible. Gosei, the mentor of the Megaforce Rangers. And that's why I had to use Gosei as a metaphor of what I was talking about for an hour and 5 minutes now. Because he was responsible why Nickelodeon sucks and why Power Rangers with these newer seasons made me want to quit watching the show again. I mean, I was just getting back into Power Rangers up until the 20th anniversary with Megaforce. Because when Samurai came out, I was absolutely losing interest in Power Rangers again. I mean, as soon as I heard, Saban's back, and for better or worse, Jonathan Zacher, until we saw what he did with Megaforce. But you could have just did something to do something better. But my advice, if you're going to do new seasons, Nickelodeon, stop the 2 seasons, stop the 20-episode policy, stop restricting the show with long summer hiatuses, stop caring too much on the merchandise, and focus on the show before you think of anything else for the show. The show will do fine, and as well as how the toys by Bandai America will. Okay? And Bandai, your ass is next time, beginning 2017. You know what I find fascinating, guys? You would think that 5 years ever since I've been on this YouTube channel, started these podcasts, vlogs, random anonymous stuff as a fan of Power Rangers, that as soon as when Saban brought the rights back from Disney and everything in between, I thought things were going to be better. Absolutely better. But as time came along, up to at least the end of 2016 to beginning 2017 with a new season, we was hoping that things would be great. We would have gotten a proper team up with RPM and Clash of the Red Rangers. The 20th anniversary would have been the biggest anniversary our franchise ever had. And then we get to this. A network that cares more about a show that's been on since 1999, still the most popular show on their network. Ratings have been faltering ever since they kept showing reruns of that show. Redundant seasons of our franchise that had one season that did average, the other did horribly in terms of an anniversary, the other when things were getting back to its tip-top shape. Then its super season did things worse. And then my interest, as soon as they did a season that is their next in line for another so-called anniversary with Ninja Rangers, made my interest even much spiteful in terms of what the hell they have been doing. And there's nothing that they can do, so forth. Then why? I mean, what's the point of even watching these new seasons of Power Rangers? I mean, all Nickelodeon is going to do is shirk it in favor of promoting more of SpongeBob or Sanjay and Craig and Breadwinners and stuff, but in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they don't seem to care about our show. They just pretend like our show is an afterthought, like, well, we barely even, as if they barely broadcast it on the weekends. What's the problem that they can't, air it on the weekdays? I mean, well, even though on Nicktoons in the mornings, I mean, you can still get reruns of the previous 5, now 6 seasons, since Ninja Steel is the 7th season in a row on Nickelodeon for Neo Saban seasons to air in a row of Power Rangers. But if there is nothing that they should have did as another opportunity and the option, why even bother wait until the last minute for them to even start caring about our show? What they should have started doing was to go ahead and, have the show aired some new episodes after, like, sometime in the weekday afternoons once when kids get out of school, like they did back when we had the older seasons by Saban Entertainment, back when we had Fox Kids. So what's wrong? We can't do that with Power Rangers on Nickelodeon. I understand Nickelodeon is no Fox Kids or Jetix or ABC Family or Toon Disney or ABC Kids or the Vortex on the CW. That's why they have not been treating Saban properly. So Saban, as a fan, if you're listening, as a fan of a show that I've been following that you created that made me love this franchise to death like a love child. Once you conclude Ninja Steel for its 2 seasons, tell Nickelodeon and Viacom to terminate your contract for Power Rangers with your 2 seasons and 20 episodes and move your franchise to where you can have all the freedom to do complex storylines, less restrictions, more freedom to do whatever you want with the Sentai's new and whatever to do and about, and do as many as you please, like on Netflix, like what Marvel had did with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage this past year. Because Nickelodeon is not doing the show any justice. And I'm sorry, they're not doing any justice with our show. So his best bet after Ninja Steel for its 2 seasons, end the contract, Saban. End it. Because Nickelodeon is not doing you justice. It was somewhat for a while during Samurai Megaforce's years, but after Megaforce, then it just got ridiculous and repetitive. Because we, the fans, want more episodes than just 20 a year. And enough of this super crap. Because there's nothing super about these second halves of seasons. Look back in your older seasons, Saban. When you did seasons like Power Rangers Zeo, Power Rangers Turbo, Power Rangers in Space, etc., you didn't do this with those seasons. You had your seasons span throughout a whole year's worth of episodes and move on with the next season with the next premise of that team. But the way how you guys are doing it with Nickelodeon, I think they're just abusing the policy. And they're just, I understand that times now are different. But if nothing is going to be great and nothing is going to get any better, why still keep showing the show on a network where they only care more about SpongeBob and all those other junk crap shows than your show? That's the problem, folks. I don't think Nickelodeon cares about Power Rangers. They're just probably saying, screw off this show. Let's think about more of the other shows they have on. So, in favor, guys, that's it. Guys, that's all I have to say. But, and final thoughts, screw you, Nickelodeon. You have did no justice with Power Rangers for 6 years. And I hope when you finish Ninja Steel, your contract will be over. I want this 2 years, 20 episode nightmare to end. Because you can do it for all your other shows, but you're not doing it for Power Rangers. Once you finish Ninja Steel at the end of 2018, end it. End it already. That is it. Because as a fan, that's why I gave up. This is why I gave up after you finished airing Dino Supercharge. I was not going to put up with this crap no more. So that's my rant, guys. I had to say what I could say because I don't want to blow anyone's ears out if you guys are watching the video with headphones on, so it's best watch the video with the headphones off if your computer has speakers. Nickelodeon can care more about anything they can think of in their time of hands and being more productive on airing more episodes of Power Rangers than 20 episodes a year and whatever. Because this is why these last 5 seasons, for the most part, have been meh for the most part. Because the extensions of these seasons for 2 years has been killing Power Rangers. I hate to say, but this is why I want Ninja Steel, which starts debuting next month in January sometime. I want it to flop on its face. I want its toy sales to go low, and I want Nickelodeon to understand what they have been doing ever since they started airing the show since Samurai. I want them to understand from their mistakes. When Power Rangers' possible contract with this network is over, they're going to realize and be very guilty of what they have been doing with our show. And it's not right. They can keep the Ninja Turtles to as long as they want until the decade is over. This decade is over. But I just want them to know something. Cut the crap. I am not going to sit through another 2 seasons with the same old crap. And then, of course, toys and other news about the show, I don't want to keep up with anymore. Anything related to Power Rangers is news for the movie franchise that Saban is possibly going to establish if the new 2017 movie does successful at the box office and get its money back and worth. Then we'll think about it, and then we'll talk. So, guys, I've talked a little long enough. I don't want to go as long as I can as possible. So this is all I can say to Nickelodeon. Straight up, as a fan of Power Rangers, and this podcast was risky business, and I just want them to understand. It's just that's why a lot of people don't like your channel anymore. Everybody's tuning out from satellite and cable in favor of streaming television like Netflix and Hulu now, because people are just people like us who are fans of Power Rangers is just fed up with your crap, Nickelodeon. So much for your Nick, whatever. But come on, you guys could do better than that. Nick. Yeah, I'm out of here. I don't want to get the Nickelodeon curse on me, like how much with the Disney curse. So, well, that's the final podcast for 2016, guys. All I can say is, well, that's it for my rant. I hope you guys enjoyed every single minute and half hour of this. Well, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas vacation until 2017 when Ninja Steel happens, because I know half of you guys are somewhat anticipated for that season, but I'm not. So, yeah, so count me out, because once Ninja Steel premieres, I am going to be off Power Rangers for a while until something happens at the end of 2018. When Ninja Steel's 2 seasons conclude. And then possibly around Power Morphicon 6 in 2018, possibly. So, enjoy your Christmas. See you guys sometime next year. New videos and such will resume whenever it will be. But starting 2017, since I am not going to catch up on a lot of Power Ranger news, I got all the time to do what I want on my channel and do what I can please and do something outside of it. So, see you guys sometime in 2017. Anthony Mars Jr. on PR, Lost Galaxy 2014. Follow me now on Patreon, description below, link to it. Donate and support my channel and content. Subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends. Until next year. And happy holidays. Thanks for watching.